Hey everyone, Arlene here with a video tutorial for Graphic 45. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a Bendi card. And you'll need a piece of cardstock and some design paper, and I'll give you the measurements right now. The cardstock that I'm using is from Graphic 45's Signature Series collection through coordination, so it coordinates really nicely with the design paper, as you can see. So you'll need a 6x6 square. So this is cut 6x6. And then you'll need another piece that's cut at 3x6. And you'll need a third piece that's cut at 2x6. Okay. The design paper that you'll need is cut at, let's see here, let's start with the big piece. It's cut at 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. Okay, because this is going to layer on top of this. All right, and then the next biggest piece is going to be 2 7/8 inches by 5, and that's going to be going on this piece, and you'll see why it's a little bit bigger there. And then the third piece is 1 7/8 by 5. Okay, and it goes like here. So I got the idea of this card through Split Coast Stampers, but I made some modifications on the sizes because I wanted a bigger card instead of a smaller one. So my card is 6x6 versus a 4 1/4 by 5, I think is what they have the standard card on Split Coast Stampers. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So you can put aside the 6x6 sheet. We're going to be working at first with these pieces of cardstock. Okay, once you get those cut out, you're going to get your scoring tool, and I'm just using the Score Buddy here. You're going to take one of the sheets and you're going to score it at 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. Okay, so 1/2 inch on either side. Okay, you can do the same thing with the larger strip. You're going to score it at 1/2 inch on one side and 1/2 inch on the other side. Okay. Now what you're going to be doing is creating a tab on one side and then folding down the other side to basically hug around the main card. Okay, so we're going to fold one side down just so that we know which side we're working with here. Okay, fold this side down. Okay, so we have this. Now we're going to be creating a little tab on the edge here. You're going to need adhesive, and for the video I'm going to be using my advanced tape glider by 3M. You're also going to need a ruler and an X-Acto knife and a cutting mat. I use a glass cutting mat. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to adhere the design paper down to the cardstock, but before I do that I'm going to edge the design paper with walnut stain distress ink. And I'm going to do the same to the cardstock. Okay, so we have that design paper laid down. Okay, now what we're going to do is let's go ahead and cut the tabs on our little strips here. So you'll see that I have a 1/2 inch score line on this side. We did 1/2 inch on both sides. This one we fold down. We have a 1/2 inch score line here. We want to make tabs on this side because this is where we're going to, and I have a little template here, so I'll show you guys what I mean. We're going to be creating these little tabs to insert to make the card Bendi, okay, which is the name of the card. Okay, so we're making these little tab inserts here. So you want to take some scissors, and you don't have to measure this. It's not required, but you're just going to go ahead and, let's see, cut this way. And I'm probably putting about maybe 1/2 inch from where it hits the score line. So you're basically going to cut a slit all the way up to the score line until you get something that looks like this. Oops. Okay, till you get something that looks like that. Okay, so you're just basically creating a tab. All right, so you can do the same thing on this one. Okay, so it looks just like that. Okay, so we have the folded part here and we have the tab on this side, and same with this one. Okay, now what we want to do is you take your base of your card and your ruler, and you'll also need a pencil. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to measure in 4 1/4. Okay, so just stick your ruler right there and then measure in 4 1/4 and leave a little mark. And you're going to do the same thing on the top. Measure in 4 1/4 and make a little mark. Okay, then what you're going to do is take your ruler and you're going to join those two dots or those two marks together and then draw a line all the way down the card. And don't worry, we're going to be erasing this later, so you're not going to see the pencil mark, but you'll see why we need the pencil mark there. Okay, so I just drew a pencil mark. It's very difficult to see on the design paper, but I drew a pencil mark down from the 4 1/4 mark that I made from up here all the way down to the 4 1/4 mark that I made down here. Okay, so I have this line here. Now what I want to do is I want to measure, I want to line up my tab along this line right here, okay? I want to line this up with the line that I just drew. All right, so if we're using this one, let me just show this one because it's hard to see on the design paper, but you can see the line on here, okay? You see the line right there. So what I'm doing is I'm going to be lining up the bottom of this teal piece of cardstock and lining up this score line with the line that I just drew. Okay? Got that, guys? Okay, so I'm going to be doing that with this design paper. And then once I do that, what I'm going to be doing is marking a little dot here and a little dot here, because what that's going to do is give me a mark from where I have to cut a slit to insert the tab. Okay, got it? So let us push this down to the bottom. Make sure it lines up to the bottom of your card, and go ahead and line up that score line on your tab to the line that you drew on the card. Once you have that done, you want to draw a little mark so you know exactly where to cut your slit. Okay? Done. And it's difficult to see, that's why I wanted to show you guys on the template that I have. Okay, so once you have that little slit, and this is what the lines look like on my design paper, just so you guys can see, you'll see that there's a line here and a line here, which I just drew to measure the slit, and then I'm going to be cutting right down the line between those two marks to create the slit for the tab. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, so now we have a slit here. Got it? And this is where this is going to go, and then my tab is going to go right into that slit. Okay, just like that. Let me just make sure it's going through the slit and not between the design paper and the cardstock. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Okay, so it's going to look just like that. Okay, guys? All right, so now we need to create the slit on this piece of paper where we're going to be putting this tab into. But before we do that, of course, we want to lay down the design paper on here. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to create this tab, the slit that's going to be going down, that this will be tucking into. I'm going to be making my slit at 2 1/2. Okay, so basically it's taking from the score line, or if you want to fold this down at the edge, and then counting in 2 1/2 with the ruler and making my mark. Okay, so I'm going to mark at 2 1/2, and then take this up to the top and then mark again at 2 1/2, and then draw a line to join those two marks together. Okay, perfect. And then now I want to line up my cardstock with the base of this piece, and then lining up the score line with the line that we just drew, and then make my marks where the tab will insert into, so I can make the slit. Okay, so right there. So I'm going to make a mark right here and make another mark right there. Okay, so that tells me where to cut the slit with my knife. So here's my slit marks. Now we're going to go ahead and put the card together. So let me finish putting this design paper on. So this goes this way and this goes this way. All right, now we want to add some score tape on the inside tabs here. Now go ahead and take the score tape off, and you're going to take the base of your card. Make sure that you have it with the slit, you know, right here. And you're just going to line this up to the base of your card, making sure this is lined up here. And we're going to erase those pencil marks, by the way. Those are so awful. We need to make sure that those aren't showing. And just fold this tab back, okay? And I'm just going to burnish that with my bone folder. Okay, and let me get my eraser. We're just going to take the score tape off the side. Okay, and then just make sure that this is lined up to the bottom of your card. And then just fold the tab back and burnish it. Okay, now we could start putting the tabs in. So when you mail your card, you mail it flat. When you want to display it, you take your tabs and you stick them in the little inserts that we created here. Let's make sure this one's open all the way. There we go. And you just insert those in there, and there you go. Okay, now let me go ahead and share the decorated completed card with you guys here at the end. Thanks so much for watching. And this is my completed Bendi card created using Graphic 45's A Christmas Carol paper collection. So before I show you the rest of the card, let me go ahead and share the papers with you guys. There's a total of 8 designs front and back. This one here is called Christmas Carol. This is the back side. Super pretty. This one's called Graceful Garland. This one's got a lot of different holiday sentiments back there. This one is Figgy Pudding. And this is the back side. This one is called Yuletide Greetings. Postage stamps with some really cute festive designs. Snow flurry on the back. This one is called Bah Humbug, and again it has a bunch of Christmas sayings. And on the back side it's got like villages and Bah Humbug, Scrooge sentiments there. This one is called Seasonal Sentiments. Lots of fun images to cut out. This is the back side. Good Cheer. Got some pinstripes here. And cute little vintage couple. And this one here is the Scrooge and Marley page. Lots of fun items to cut out there. Here's the back side. Okay, so that's A Christmas Carol. And this is the completed Bendi card that I created. So lots of different layers. This is what it looks like from the top. Here's what it looks like from the back. It's got the tab over here. Okay, but it's very dimensional and it stands up nicely, so you can put it up for display. So I put some I Am Rose's flowers. I cut out some leaves using an MFT die. I put some twine, and these flowers here matched perfectly the pink flowers on the paper collection. I used a La La Land Crafts die for this gate. This is the wrought iron gate die. And I used the Graphic 45 Signature Series cardstock to cut that out so it matches the paper collection. I added some pretty pink posh sequins throughout, so there's a little bit of glitter. Okay, and then I did some fussy cutting with the paper collection. Okay, so that's the card, and then the tabs just pull out like this and pull out like this. So then you can open it up and you can write your sentiment here. So you'll see I did a lot of fussy cutting. I decorated the inside of the card as well with some of the postage stamp images from the paper collection. I added more sequins and I Am Rose's flowers. And here's on this side as well. I fussy cut a bow and added some of the sentiments from the paper collection. Okay, and then when you want to mail it, you can actually lay it flatter. It's a dimensional card, so it's not going to lay as flat, but you can basically stick it into a box packaging to mail it. Or if you're handing it over to somebody, you can actually stick it in maybe a cellophane, because it's really fun to get a card and you have a clear cellophane to case it in, and you can see the card like right through the cellophane. Makes you kind of excited to open it. Okay, so that is my Bendi card. I'll have pictures here at the end. Check out Graphic 45 at g45papers.com. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye.